Hello and welcome back all my New World players. Quite a few comments have been for me to make a gold guide since I do relatively well and this is that video. However, first we must talk about the elephant in the room and that this is not a gold farming guide. You see, gold farming videos on YouTube all suffer from some inherent flaws in their core concept. Two things happen after you watch some gold farming guide that promises you an exorbitant amount of gold per hour. You go to the spot where this farm takes place and there are tons of other people there already farming, making it inefficient, or it's actually somewhat empty. You begin farming, whether it's going after legendary skins from boars or yet another popular sliver of adderstone video, and are excited that you are getting the materials and can't wait to list them on auction. You see the high prices and you have hundreds of this material and can't wait to cash in, as everyone will surely now flock to buy what you just farmed. So you wait and wait and wait. What the heck? Why isn't what I just farmed selling? They are legendary or rare materials. You see, these gold farm videos look good on paper, but in actual practice they often fall short because you are trying to catch this wave of gold making. Even if you catch the wave, the problem is thousands of other players who also watch the gold farm are catching a wave right behind you, then undercutting the hundreds of materials you just listed, then another player, then another, until your auction is buried so far down the list it has no hope of selling and you have to eat the auction cost. You feel frustrated and then look for the next gold farm video. Well, I'm here to try and break this insane cycle. Stop trying to catch waves. We want to consistently make gold every day, no matter what we have planned, and you can. Now that we address the problem, I will share with you my approach to making gold and why I always tend to have an abundance of it to pay for my houses and items. When we take a look into my recent completed auctions, you will see a theme. In order from most expensive to least here, sure, I have some expensive tools that sold that have biz perks on them, and I'll get into that later. However, it's the rest of the page which is interesting, due to the fact that a majority of my sales are under 1 gold and a large variety of items. The big mistake many players make is trying to go after only the rare expensive items, and then they either don't sell or sell for a fraction of the time and effort you put into making them. If you spend massive gold to get to 150 engineering, bought 3 houses with 3 trophies just in hopes of crafting the right items to sell, you would put yourself at high risk. I see people do it all the time with every profession. They blow through star metal, which is expensive, and craft these basic tools with no perks that don't sell. Then do the same with orichalcum in hopes to make gold off selling god tier tools eventually, but they are typically thousands of gold in the hole compared to how I did it and how I go about gathering and selling items. These star metal tools with no perks are worthless. They listed them for 40 gold and most are under 100. Let's look at the materials to craft this item. We got 14 star metal bars, and not even counting the other materials, let's check what they could have sold the star metal bars for instead. 675 is the cheapest on the server. If they sold the materials to make this item instead, they would have made over 100 gold, but they chose to make a worthless item that won't sell. The materials to craft the item are worth more than double. Don't do this, and in fact, this is my most important rule of making gold. Don't waste valuable raw materials just to level a profession. You would make thousands a day, every day, selling the raw materials to idiots that are trying to power level a profession. Just because you can refine or use a material to craft doesn't mean you should, especially if you are trying to make gold. Take moats for example. Many will say to themselves, well, let me refine these worthless things into better ones because they will be more useful. I can level arcana and sell them, but that's not true. Unless you need them for something specific, don't refine any moats ever. They are used in energy cores to craft void bent metal for legendaries. Let's look at an energy core. You need 1 elemental heart and 1 eternal heart just for 1 energy core, and you need 10 energy cores for 1 void bent bar. So thousands and thousands of moats are being used for end gear. this raw material that people waste by refining it when they could have sold it for more just by itself. So in my method of gold making, I'm trying to level professions without spending gold and selling large amounts of a variety of raw materials in the process to make daily gold consistently. I try to stay away from gold farming methods that are only after one or two specific items, because you fall into that trap of trying to catch a wave. I have a specific example of a video I did with my Flint bait Hyperspawn video that showcased some of my farming methods. I was able to level engineering to 150 for cheap while making steady gold. In that video, I'm selling items that will sell, and the farm is gathering 8 to 10 different items in high quantity. Remember my auction tab again? Most of my auctions are under 1 gold and a variety of items under 20 gold, each that I sell every day in high quantity. Another example is I'm currently leveling furnishing, and you can see in my auction tab again all the variety of foods I'm selling. You see I ended up doing a big loop in the hemp area of Windsward, but I'm not just getting the hemp to craft my rugs to level furnishing. I'm getting all the herbs, which have a variety of food spices that sell extremely well alongside moats or a chalcum ore. The buffalo give a large amount of rawhide. There are dragon flowers and chests. So while I level furnishing, I'm getting a large variety of other raw materials that sell very well to keep my gold going up no matter what I'm doing. Every single day, at least 50 to 60 of the items I have listed are small items, and because of that, I'm making thousands off the little things in case my big items don't pull through. Before I talk about the big items, I want to mention a pro tip in farming for the day and my approach to what I will work on. Before you go out and mine, gather, and skin, go check to see if there are any buy orders for what you want to farm. If I do plan on farming up some sliver of adderstone and doing a farm, I first will check to see if there are any buy orders for stone, so I can just sell it and get gold instantly. Then I'll check the adderstone price to make sure it's acceptable. Then I will head out and do my iron and stone route, because I know I'm going to make gold. In fact, I don't hesitate to fill as many orders as I can, as long as the price is in a close enough range to the other listings. This is something that didn't show up in my completed tab, but I fill tons of orders every day. Here we will look at earth moats. There is a buy order, but let's see what they are listed for. As you can see, there isn't much difference in price, so I will just go ahead and fill that order. I'm guaranteeing myself gold. No one is undercutting me. I'm not eating auction fees because something doesn't sell. Just right into my pocket. Then I do it again here with Flint. Then oddly enough, there's a buy order for more than what other people are listing it with glowworms, so obviously I'm going to fill that order. There have been a few rare occasions where I have bought what was cheapest and just filled a buy order because people weren't paying attention. Now that we covered the basics on my philosophy of making gold, let's get into selling the big items and pricing them, as well as selling my high-end items. Here I went to sell one of my cut pristine gems, and right now the prices are through the roof. I almost got caught into the undercutting trap and stopped myself to check and see what the prices are on the entire server to make sure I'm not missing anything. The cheapest is actually $7.99, which is really high, so I want my item to sell and also list it at a fair price, because anyone who sees this right now is going to start cutting pristine gems, and I don't want to be undercut and stuck with an item that doesn't sell. I decide on the $6.95 price, which is fair, and when I woke up earlier today, it sold. Could I have maybe pushed it and got more? Sure, but at a risk of getting 0 gold if I got undercut. Now as for my tools, well, I do make sure to try and craft the best ones on the server when I can, but remember to check prices beforehand. If everyone is listing these rare and yield fine tools at 3,000, then I will craft up a few and price them competitively at a fair price, a few hundred gold cheaper. That way they have a higher likelihood of selling. In fact, someone listed 2 underpriced mining axes for 400 gold each that were yield and rare find. I wanted to list mine at the market value of 2,700, so I bought their underpriced tools. I sold both mine and one of their tools. Only one didn't sell, but still I saw an opportunity. I knew what they were worth on my server and wasn't going to let someone undercut the market where I couldn't make the 2,700 gold each, which they are worth. Obviously that can be a risky game to buy low price items because you want to list higher. However, it was a risk I was willing to take because I consistently see them sell at this price and I make gold from so many sources. I felt it was worth it to do, and it paid off. I do plan on doing some crafting guides in the future to go over some tips and tricks, and don't want to go too far into that now since the main point of this video is making gold, which leaves me with a final point on gold farms. While I have pegged them as being bad due to flaws in their core concept, as you don't want to be chasing waves, you can use them as tools when you understand the premise of this video. Take some of these farms and expand on them so you have a larger variety of items. Then when you start getting better at reading the market, selling a lot of basic items along with those farms, you can maybe capitalize on making some quick extra gold. Well, hopefully I was able to relay my thoughts clearly enough and how I approach gold. Hopefully I didn't leave out too much or ramble on for too long. Making gold in New World is something that is going to be reactive and not just going to X marks the spot and doing a certain farm. I didn't even really get into the 3 daily faction bonuses that give 10 times the gold reward or any of that, but wanted to express a comprehensive guide in gold making that you can adapt to hopefully generate gold for yourself. As always, I look forward to reading your thoughts and comments below. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to share it and smash that like button. Also, please subscribe to support the channel and turn on that notification bell to keep these videos coming.